Hello students. Let us now we will move towards our next topic, that is asexual reproduction in the multicellular organism. In previous video we learned about the asexual reproduction in the unicellular organism. Now in this video we will learn about the asexual reproduction in the multicellular organism. Now what are multicellular organisms? Multicellular organisms are the organisms having cells more than one or two. Unicellular organisms means their body is made up of only a single cells. Most probably they are known as the prokaryotic microorganisms. Multicellular organisms are the prokaryotic as well as eukaryotic organisms also. So the first type of reproduction in the multicellular organism, that is of type asexual reproduction, is the fragmentation. It is known as the fragmentation. Simply it is a multiplication of the fragments, means small fragments are there of the organisms. If we consider the example of the Spirogyra, this is the example of the Spirogyra. This is the parent organisms. In a favorable conditions, this Spirogyra develops some filaments, and the best and the proper favorable condition, these filaments started to grow separately independently rather than the parent Spirogyra, and that's why after some time they start independently growing and they are known as the daughter Spirogyra, and after some time they are known as the separate Spirogyra. So simply fragmentation is based on the filaments, that is filamentation, fragmentation. Okay, then there is another type of asexual reproduction, regeneration. It is the most important type of asexual reproduction in the multicellular organism. What is known as the regeneration? We all are sorry, very commonly known a fact in our houses that if there is a wall lizard in our house and if try to catch them or beat them, that wall lizards leave their tails and ran away. Okay, but after some days we will found that same lizard is regenerating its tail, and that is the best example of the regeneration. But there are very few organisms which can reproduce their lost organs. Okay, so in regeneration, if we see the example of a planaria, that planaria has the capacity to develop into whole organisms by a single part of its body. Means if it is divided into three parts, that is head, body and the tail, if all these three sections are cut from the original parent planaria organism, that cut part, that is head, will regenerate into total organisms, its body will regenerate into total organisms, and its tail also regenerate into the total organism, that is planaria. It is the best quality of the planaria. That process is known as the regeneration. It is the most important subtype of the asexual reproduction. No gamete is involved, only the cut and excised part of the bodies are involved. The next type of asexual reproduction is the budding. It is also seen in the previous video in the asexual reproduction in the unicellular organism. Same function occurs here in the multicellular organisms. What happens in the multicellular organism? In budding process, if we consider the example of a hydra, that hydra has a differentiate branching. So in a favorable condition, at a particular spot, at a particular growing spot, some part of the hydra grows separately and slowly it starts growing independently. Parent hydra supports with all essential nutrients and the needy minerals to the newly producing daughter hydra, and that newly producing daughter hydra after some days will produce a particular new hydra organism. So that is known as the budding. It is known as the budding. Means on a particular original parent body of an organism, a bud is formed, and that bud is provided with the essential nutrients by the parent organism, and after some days that bud regenerates into the new organism. Then the another type is vegetative propagation. It is the important reproduction and mostly accepted by the multicellular organism, that is vegetative propagation. What is vegetative propagation? Vegetative reproduction is a process in which different plants and the different organisms reproduces with the help of their leaves, root, stem, branches, fruits, etc. And the reproduction is known as the vegetative propagation. So what are the examples? These are very common. In our house we are having potatoes. On that potatoes we generally see the birds. That birds are known as the eyes. That birds are known as the eyes. On the rose plant there are some birds which are present at the nodes. That birds also reproduces or produces a particular new young organisms. Again that carrot, then sweet potato which grows inside the soil, they also produces their same kind of copies with the help of vegetative propagation. In the sugarcane and the grass, different kinds of grasses and the sugarcane also produces their exact similar clones and the copies with the help of birds present on their node. Suppose if it is a sugarcane, then there are some rhizoids and here are that birds are present. It is known as the node and this is known as the bud. This bud when sow in the soil, it produces the new organism, that is the vegetative propagation, means simply spread out of the parts. Then the last and important subtype of the asexual reproduction in multicellular organism is the spore formation. In a fungi like mucor, that mucor is a filamentous body. It is a filamentous body, that is mycelium, base, body and the sporangia. In sporangia, if it is a mucor, then it is a mycelium and it is having a sporangia. This sporangia is consisted, this sporangia is contained with the small pores, and these small pores will regenerate into the new organism. So in this way, this is the asexual reproduction in the multicellular organisms. I hope you have understood it. So be in touch, stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you.